Hello. Voice is still not here, so don't complain. Welcome to the match reaction. I'm here joined by Lou as we discuss the 4-2 win at home, last home game of the season over Wolves. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will drop the link in a bit for you to join. But Louis from Greece, what's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
all good, man. I wish I could be at Selhurst tonight. But Wembley will do, and all the games running up to Wembley were good enough for me, man. But yeah, great performance. Um, I know a lot of people were talking about like we'd be drunk, but I don't. I think the players are riding a different sort of wave right now, and I don't think they would have got paralytic drunk. I'm sure they've got some juicy bonuses and holidays paid for. Um, after Liverpool, I'm sure they'll be taken to somewhere exotic, all expenses paid for.
yeah. Real nice victory again. Goals by Nketiah gets two. Um, Chilwell free kick, and obviously Ebbs gets the fourth, and obviously two goals by Wolves on corner kicks. I guess it was Strand Larson and Agbadu got the first one. But a really good victory. I was actually surprised at how well we played, considering again the Wembley hangover. But Louis, you called it, man. Glasgow does not do anything as far as like you can't take half measures. But real quickly, let's go for the lineup. There were I think there was I wrote it down somewhere here. There were six changes from the FA Cup game. Ward, Chilwell, Hughes, Lerma, Esse, and Nketiah came in for Wharton, um,
Kamada.
Mitchell, Kamada, Eze, Mateta, and then that's it. So, what were your thoughts initially when you saw the lineup?
I was happy to see SA get a start. Also, obviously Joel Ward. Um, yeah, I think today was all about Wardy, man. It was all about Joel Ward. Been there since his first season. His first season was an iconic one, and yeah, he's just been an unbelievable servant for this team. And like even his speech on Saturday where he says like this is our ceiling is your floor. Like it's just he just signed off perfectly, and I thought he played well today, and he got his standing ovation. It was quite emotional as well.
Yeah, I love the fact that he not only started Ward, he was obviously captain, and the reception that he got during the match. Again, I thought he played really well, and also I just loved. He probably would have gotten subbed off anyway, but he got a little knock. But I love the way Glasner took that time to have him sub off. The home crowd singing his name, um, him dropping to his knees to pray, and then coming off and hugging every player, and then hugging like Hughes and the manager after. I thought it was really classy. He deserved it. He so deserved that kind of a goodbye. You see, it got to him, he was crying because he knows it's his last game ever at Sellers Park. But I thought that was brilliant. Um, I don't even know where to go from there. Obviously, we give up a goal in the 24th minute on a corner, and then Nketiah gets two quick fire goals. I thought Eddie looked good today. What are your thoughts today on Eddie?
Yes, we always spoke about a confident Eddie. He wasn't trying too hard or trying to pack in 16 minutes, 15 minutes of all of his energy, like just overdoing it. Um, he looked calm and composed today. There was a few moments where I think he wanted to get the hat trick where that where that rush thing come in. But yeah, there was two great finishes. Great work by Esse, and yeah, it's good. It gets his numbers up as well. So I think by the end of it, if you go down goals and assists in all competitions, it don't look too bad. And that's one for D. I'm sure D will give us those stats on Twitter or on another stream.
And more importantly, as I've always said, Dougie don't miss.
Hmm.
Right, D. Dougie don't miss. Actually, as far as the performances in that first half, Romain Essay looked really good. Had he assisted one of those goals for Nketiah. Looks good, Louis. I've always liked his ability to track back, but I loved him going forward today. Was very good good on the he was on the right side.
Left.
No, left, right, because Saar played on the right, exactly. But what were your thoughts on how Romain Esse played today? I love what he did.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. You can see um Glasner's put his mark on him already in the sense of how hard he has to work, and it's he always talks about it's easy to have good ability on the ball, but what you're going to do off of it, what you're going to provide the team. And yeah, I think his Spurs cameo wasn't great because I think he was just in that mindset of overthinking. I think today he kind of just calmed down. The pressure was off. And yeah, I thought he had a really good game. He looks physically ready. He looks like he's been held back a bit and just been integrated into the squad. And I think he can be a really good player next season because minimum there'll be an extra 8 games through Europe. So we're talking Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, Europa League all in one season.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fixtures next season. I'm looking forward to that. As the crowd was singing at the end of the European tour. So we're going at halftime, 2-1. Come out early and we get the free kick. Over the free kick, it's funny. We had two left-footed players over the ball. We had Devaney and Chilwell. Chilwell takes it, deflection, goal. First goal for Palace, probably the last goal for Palace. Even though the comms are saying that we might go in for him because of experience for in Europe, etc. But how do you think overall that Ben Chilwell played today?
Yeah, I thought Ben was really good to be fair. Again, it's a no pressure game, but you can see his technical ability. And yeah, I think he's just fit into the squad really well. You can see he has good friendships with all the different players, and it don't matter how they go in. Sometimes it was nice that he got his goal.
Yeah, so that put us up. I guess it was a 3-2. Yes, 3-2.
3-1. Oh, yeah,
3-1.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
three
and
three
Grand
one. Yeah.
last. I guess another. Again, it's funny. It was funny how poor we were today. On I think they said the number was it was 12 corners to none for Palace, and every time
Mm.
they had a corner, it was very dangerous. You're right. Strand Larsen gets a goal to make it 3-2, and then um, we ring the changes with Eze and JP coming on. Do you notice that JP didn't have the thing on his head today? Why do you think
Oh,
that was?
it's probably time to come off now.
2 days after the final.
Yeah.
Interesting, though, right? The timing. I thought he'd have it on the rest of the season, but yeah. And then really nice goal by Eze. So that'll give him 14 goals and 12 assists on the season. What are your thoughts on Ebbs today and just in general?
Still got one more game to go. We like to spoil a Anfield party on the last day of the season. They're definitely on the beach. I think Eze wouldn't mind getting a couple or more on a Sunday. I think the boys will definitely be up for it, especially Anfield away. No matter what, it's a massive game. So not a massive game in terms of what's on the line, but just in fact of playing at Anfield. No one goes to Anfield and just wants to roll over. Um, Plus their players look like they've already rolled over.
Right.
But yeah, what was the question again?
Just how you think about Ebbs today when he came on and
Oh
just overall in
yeah.
general.
Key good. Ebbs had the whole range of the pitch. The game was really open, and
Yeah.
I reckon if there was a bit more on the line, we would have been a bit more clinical. But it was like we was trying to score a nice, perfect goal.
Yeah. So it ends up 4-2. Great win. I thought overall performance is really good. I actually want a couple of other people I want to mention. Devaney came on and played centrally. And we've talked about him. The reason I like him as a player, he's a natural 10, but he can play as a central, like an 8 or a 6. What do you think about his performance today? I thought he did really well actually today.
I think he's got a similar profile to Kamada in the sense of he can do those roles. I don't think he's technically or near Kamada's level, but yeah, I thought he
Right.
came on and done well. Um, his stocks are probably the highest. It will be interesting to see what happens in the summer. Um,
All right.
with Europe, can we afford to be our depth, or I don't know. That's up to the recruitment team, but um, he's done so well to break into the team and be a part of the squad, and it shows what happens when you really work hard and take a chance.
So you posed a good question about can we afford to, but I'm gonna come back with you was we're also going to have the League Cup and the FA Cup, and I think for the domestic cups we can afford to have someone like the Veni, maybe not for the European. So if we didn't play, let's say Kamada and Decore in the League Cup, you could definitely play the Veni, and vice versa. You don't play the Veni, you got Decore experience, and obviously Kamada be interesting. And then lastly, Mateus France got a little run out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was good to see him run out. I think they could have. There was a few times where he could have been laid off.
Right.
Listen, if he's going to play next season, someone needs to tell him he's not allowed to wear molds.
That's why I set you up for that one. I knew that was gonna come. Go ahead. What's the problem with him today with the slipping?
Listen, if you played football, yeah, I remember the manager would always say they'd go out and the pitch would be wet, and he says, "Listen, you can wear molds, but if I see you slipping about, you're coming off." Like that was a thing. Like it's these Premier League pitches. I don't think they're built for molds. They're built for studded boots because they're so good and they water them and stuff like that. So I would like to see him stay on his feet a bit more. But he looks lively. And I like the way Glasner's protected him and not thrown him back in and not rushed him. We haven't really needed him. And pre-season is always a clean slate for everyone, I think. So let's see how hard you work off season and how do you come back.
Yeah. Hey, look who's in the chat, Louis.
Big up, Zav. Big up, Zav.
Hello, son. Yeah, some team, some club. And Tim's in the chat. Can we see why? I can see why Glasner is rating SA over France right now. Fair enough. I mean, I thought they both did okay, but I thought SA showed in that first half how strong he can be. So I've dropped the link in the chat, people. I'm going to bring Stan on. He's in the chat. But if you want to join us, I'll drop it again in a bit. But please, if you can come on, because my voice is gone. Lou's where he is midnight. So I'd rather someone else talk than him and I. So let me bring Stan on now. Stan, how are you?
How are you guys?
I'm tired and I lost my voice, so go ahead, talk.
I mean, I'm still a bit high off energy since Saturday, so yeah, superb, man. Louis, you're on holiday and you're still doing the match reaction. Your missus must absolutely hate you, man.
No, I wear the trousers, man.
Fair enough.
Dan, before we get into tonight's game, since you didn't get a chance to get on the stream, the Wembley, the FA Cup winning stream. Tell us about your experience at Wembley on Saturday. Your whole day, if you want.
Oh my God. I woke up and went for breakfast in the cafe in Hayes in Bromley at 9 o'clock in the morning with my friend and his dad. With two of my friends and his dad and his actual partner as well. And then we made our way from Hayes to Wembley. You know what? The train was broken on the way. It broke down. So a half an hour journey took an hour and 20 minutes. And it got me even more anxious than I already was. And I was like, oh my God, am I going to miss the game? Am I going to be stuck on this train? Like, I come all the way from Canada, like everything's going. But then went to Charing Cross, met a load of guys from CPFC Toronto in the pub there, and made it over. Had a few drinks and then went over to Covent Garden, which was just, I mean, that's when you felt it, right? I mean, in that pit, with that huge flag, that Mateus Franca song is probably the best Crystal Palace chant I've ever heard, mate. I'm not going to even exaggerate. It's been
very catchy. It's very catchy. It's very catchy when you just heard a bunch of people. It really is. It gets the group going, the song, the singing going. It's really good. I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
And then the co-founder Greg Waller, co-founder of CPFC Toronto, who's now back in London. Big up, Greg. Came to meet me and all my friends, and we had a few beers in Covent Garden. After the HF went on their march, we went to All Bar One on the corner, which was still really, really lively. Managed to get our arms painted and stuff like that, and made it onto Wembley. Actually bumped into one of the regular listeners on the channel. So it was nice to meet him. He told me I was a legend. Not many people do, so always nice to get a bit of love. And then obviously walked down Wembley Way, millions of Palace fans, 3 City fans. Walked into the stadium, saw the atmosphere, met up with some more friends, met up with Rich from Eagle Eyed Football. And had a beer, and the rest is history, guys. What a performance, man! What a performance. I think I'm like you guys. I cried. I couldn't breathe at the end. I was so happy. I was laughing. I was crying. It was amazing to see them do that after all these years. Man, yeah, it was. I'm still emotional now. You watch the highlights back, you get emotional, and then you listen to the reaction. I couldn't get on Sunday because I was still drinking and celebrating. I just you listen to that Winging It pod. I was on the plane from London to Toronto listening to that, and people next to me must have thought I was start raving mad because there were tears streaming down my face when I was listening to that. But all I can say is I think Palace is such a community club, man. It just brings everyone together, doesn't it? And we've got this channel, and I know we don't always agree on some things and whatever, but it's one core goal is that we love this football club, and to see it do what it did, man, and to have been part of a few years with you guys, and watching Palace from a young age was some sense of accomplishment, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was some sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm not worried about Palace doing anything the rest of my life. My only goal was the FA Cup win, and they did it. I was there with my son and a lot of good friends, so I'm good. I mean, I'm looking forward to Europe next year, but it's not like I'm going to focus on every single game or worry about it. So I'm good. But Tim, welcome. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I mean, it's been amazing. Yeah. I mean, I was on Sunday, and it's funny, man. I didn't know what to think about it when I was told that Alex and I got clipped up for fan reactions for the FA Cup game. I think we held up all right. I mean, we were absolutely losing our minds on the watch along. Of course we were. It was great. Yeah. And it's been fun. I do think there's a surprising number of, I mean, you could speak to this too, Patrick, that there's a growing Palace presence in the US. Not many, but people know so people don't know this, but in my job, I get online and do stuff like this all the time. So I'm like talking to our members, and I'm always like wearing my hat, and people know that I support Palace. So the number of people who like pay us money as in my job who are sending me notes saying, I just saw that Palace won the FA Cup was crazy. And it was great. It was so heartwarming. It was amazing. But yeah, super fun. And today, I don't know about anybody else, but I was in front of my screen, like as if I was in the stadium giving Wardy a standing O when he's walking off the park. That was so, I love that man. It's so much. I mean, he deserves that. What a servant, and what a narrative arc. Like he said in his the comments after the FA Cup that he first season, win promotion at Wembley. Ends his Palace career walking off with the cup at Wembley. Amazing.
Yeah, his career has been amazing at Palace. People think don't realize that this is not his first club. I was watching some other podcast, and the guy was saying YouTube trying to go, oh, he's a Palace through and through, but because he's been at Palace his whole career, he hasn't. He was
a Pompey.
But that he was part of that Bournemouth Great Escape team. That Bournemouth team that nearly went out of the Football League.
Went out of Football League, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
he
as a young player.
He was on loan there, so
yeah. But no, listen, Tim, I did the same thing. I'm not joking. I was home watching the game by myself. When he came off, he was, after he did the kneel, and he was crying. I just got up and started clapping him in my own house. I had to clap him. He deserves it.
You have to.
Before I want to ask Louis a question. Monty, thanks for the reminder. Want to thank everyone, by the way. We went over 6,000 subscribers over this weekend. Really
That's
want to thank
amazing.
everyone. Honestly, it's amazing as a
Well done.
a quote unquote smallish club to have 6,000 subscribers. And there are quite a few other Palace fan channels out there, so we appreciate it. We are definitely going on to hopefully get to 10,000 sometime next season. But we want to thank everyone for that. So again, Monty, thanks for reminding me. Louis, I wanted to ask you a question, but I forgot what it was. Something to do with what Timmy was saying, but anyway, Louis, just talk.
Listen,
Oh boy.
there's not much to talk about this game. Like, this game doesn't really. It's just like a celebration, like probably going on now. They're doing a lap of honor. I've seen some of the photos, Wardy with the trophy and stuff like that. But yeah, listen, you probably saw Pat's vlog if you've seen it. That was my life peaked when the whistle went for me. And like I said, I didn't cry when my daughter was born, but I cried my eyes out when that whistle went, like proper like snot bubbles. I couldn't contain myself. But yeah, I don't listen. I don't really know what to say. It was just one of those moments, and it was you saw so many people getting to celebrate it with their dads and their granddads and their family. It was magical. I don't think it could have gone more perfect.
Yeah.
My wife.
Real quick, sorry. I wanted to pop up Animal's quote because Animal's on our stream on what night was that? Was it Saturday? I've lost track of time.
Sunday for where
exactly.
That was maybe the best stream I've ever seen on this channel, and to be part of that was unbelievable, Patrick.
Yeah. But I want to put up because Animal, you got to get on the camera and be on the show. You were brilliant on Sunday. Really enjoyed quote unquote meeting you, and you're right. I'll never forget Saturday. I can't wait for the new season to continue this journey with Glasner at the wheel. We're all going on a European tour. Yeah, it's a beautiful. Yeah, well said. So I'm sorry. Stan, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that during as soon as the final whistle went, my long-suffering wife FaceTimes me from Toronto, and lucky by somehow I got some signal in that stadium, and tears were streaming down her face as well. It meant a lot to everyone, man. That was a serious moment, man. That was,
I'll be real. If anyone was sitting with me, they know I didn't watch the second half.
So what, you faced it? You stood?
I was facing the other way with my head.
Well, he did. He kept turning the other way. He watched a lot. He's saying that he watched a lot of it, but a lot of times, like, he would just turn around and face the other way. But listen, credit to him, man. Listen, so they'll never forget. But one thing, Louis' mates are beautiful people. His dad and I are about 3 or 4 years apart, so we've got the same upbringing as far as the pain for Palace. He's a great man, and I'm really glad I found. Well, I'm going to thank D because D's the one who introduced Louis to the channel. But meeting Louis and his mates, the last trip that I made, and then now again, it was great, and it made the trip that much better. And then my son to be part of that group too now, it's been phenomenal. So no, listen, again, I made 3 trips. I didn't see us lose a match, which I thought was a great record. Then I remembered one thing. My son has been over for 2 finals, the playoff final and the this cup final, and he didn't see us.
Whoa.
Win. That kid is a lucky charm. Forget what I thought.
Oh, man. So make sure your passport's up to date, Xavier.
Yeah. So real quick, Mary's comment. I want to read it. My 19-year-old dad says he still can't believe it. 75 years supporting Palace and his dream come true. Mary, that is so beautiful. Again, my dad passed away during COVID in 2020. He was 87 years old. He's the reason why Xavier and I are Palace supporters. He came over to England in the 50s during Windrush from Jamaica, and we grew up in Thornton Heath, which anybody knows Thornton Heath is about 8-9 minute walk to Selhurst Park on a bad day. You could probably run there in 5 minutes. And he's the reason why I support Palace. My dad always said to me, son, support your local team. When we moved to New York, we all support all the New York teams. It wasn't going to become like, fans of big club. I'm lucky because New York is obviously a big city, but if we had moved to Oakland or whatever, we would have been, supporters of Oakland. So my dad's the reason why I'm a Palace supporter. And I know that on Saturday, he was looking down and very, very happy because that was awesome. So Mary, God bless your dad. I'm so happy for him. I really am that he got to enjoy that. But we have one more guest who's going to come in. But Tim, I think you want to say something, but go ahead.
No, this was so Earth saying I don't think Tim and Alex cut their hair, wore the same clothes as a lucky omen on the big day. You are correct. Nobody wants to see what's underneath here because I didn't do it. I did the exact same thing. I wore the exact same clothes. I checked what I did during the semifinal, and I never eat before a match except during the semifinal. It turned out I did. So I was like, all right, well, here we go. I did everything I could remember. I did it exactly the same because I was nervous, man. I was quietly confident, but I really wanted it. And I really wanted it for me and for the players. And I just thought it was our time and for the longtime fans, mostly because like, I mean this, I'm not being like trite here. I said this on Sunday. You'll remember this, Patrick. I said, like, this community, everybody around Palace has been, and I don't think this is true for every fan from outside of the area, is so welcoming. Like, ever since I started supporting Palace, just like, come on in, water's warm. And I just thought, I don't think that's normal. I think that's very unusual. I think it's special. I think it says a lot about this club. So
that's what I wanted to talk to Louis about. No, Louis, I'm sorry, real quick. It's all I want to talk to you about. Cause so that whole like fans from other countries thing is interesting. Cause like I said, my son was obviously born in New York. I say he's a Palace fan, obviously me, but then he moved to Philadelphia because he's a lawyer. He went to law school at Temple, and and there's a Philadelphia Crystal Palace group. Stan had one in Toronto, has one in New York. New York Eagles were actually the biggest group, and they kind of splintered off. The guy who's kind of founded the New York Eagles moved to Philadelphia, etc. Will Block, who actually I hung out with him a little bit on Saturday. But one of the Philadelphia people, Dan Gant, who Louis met, flew over to the game, paid, I'm not gonna say how much he paid a premium for the Wembley ticket, and hung out with me, Xavier, and Louis' group on Saturday. So Louis, I want to ask you a question. What do you think of like what do you think about people? There are a lot of fans at the Green Man, by the way, who from other countries, but what do you think about that whole thing when people become a fan of Palace that way?
No, listen, because I know football fans can be snobby. I think even sometimes I can be snobby in the sense of you feel like your belonging to the club means more than other people's just because of the generations where you grew up, how long you supported the team for. You kind of think, oh, this is my club. But when I spoke to him and he told me how much he paid for the ticket and how much he was willing to put on the line, I was just like, and I was telling all the other guys, and he was just accepted in. And another thing with Palace, you see, you might get a minority of people that have like some weird views about certain things, political things, but the amount of different women, elder women, different colors, different ethnic backgrounds in that's Palace. You saw it on Saturday. It was just a whole different array of people from different backgrounds, and I think that's what makes Palace. But yeah, I'm definitely on board with the American franchise at Palace.
For sure. I met Zane from Charleston, South Carolina. I think you guys may have come across him on socials before, but he's a really nice guy. And him and his wife flew over, and they'd made all these friends on Palace Twitter. They came over for that Leicester game. Remember when we beat them in the last minute? JP scored. Oh yeah,
JP scored.
Yeah. And he made loads of friends and stayed in contact with them. And he actually stayed at one of their houses before the final.
That's brilliant.
Fantastic. But I can say from setting the supporters club up in Toronto, we had 100 people at the pub on Saturday. 100 people. I remember when it was 4 of us meeting up in a pub, and they'd show like all the other games, and we'd be in the corner on a telly with no sound, right? And then to go to fill in pretty much an entire pub, having control of all the music. We had all these like what's it called, like influencer channels come down and interview the guys and stuff like that. It was sensational. And it was a touching moment actually for me to stand on Wembley Way with Greg, and we had our CPFC Toronto flag there, had the picture, and so obviously see them lift the cup. And I was, you know what, for the first time ever, I was a little bit more confident in the second half. And I looked at Greg at about sort of 62 minutes and I went, I think we've got this, mate. I think we got it. And I was the first, you know me, like I normally, what's it called? I'm not that optimistic, but something just happened that day, man, that I was like, wow.
I had a feeling about this FA Cup from, you know, with Pat, I went back and clipped it. It was after that Villa game. I said I had the feeling, man. When we played that game, there was something about the team. It was just all clicking at once, and I didn't feel like we could get. It was too late to push up the league too far, like to get a 6 or a 7. But like to cut run and just like to concede 1 goal as well is it's ridiculous. And it was like the whole thing about not just winning it kind of put Palace on a worldwide map on Saturday. Like every single person was like, Palace saved football in terms of like
you really did.
In terms of like the billionaires versus the little guy, the fan culture, the ultras fan, the Homesdale fanatics finally got their flowers and wasn't called cringy and this and that. They said the Palace were the best fans to ever be at Wembley, and it was like finally Palace got their dues, and that was just like a extra bit on top of winning the FA Cup. Like finally, every single Palace fan can be proud of supporting a club, because the amount me supporting Palace like through the 90s and early 2000s, like people didn't even what you support Palace. Like, what's the point in that? Do you know what I mean? Like we were a crap Division 1 team for the majority of my life, and then we went from a crap Division 1 team to being like a bit of a stale Premier League team, and then I think Saturday just took us to a whole new stratosphere, and that's all from the manager, if I'm being honest.
You know what? I played Division 1. I'm gonna say the word soccer because it just sounds more natural, because that's what it was. And when you play, they put out like a pamphlet when you play, and they talk about your background. And I would always put my background, support of Crystal Palace, and all my teammates would say, "Who's Crystal Palace?" This is in the 80s, by the way. This is the late 80s. I played.
So that was
they were all, go ahead, Sam.
But that was the days. My friend also moved to this side during that time, and he said that the newspaper would come out once a week, and the scores would be in there.
I could get into that too. I don't. Yeah, I think my dad used to work in Manhattan as a tailor, and he would pick up the paper every Monday.
Yeah.
For like or Tuesdays, I can get see the scores, but not just the scores. I had a radio, but I could also look up, how we were, read it. I would cut the articles out, whatever. But going back to my story, so all my team was like, "Who are Crystal Palace?" So I actually have I still keep in contact with my coach from when I played, and he was like, sent me a text, "Oh, congratulations, Crystal Palace win the FA Cup." So moving on, I also coached for like 20 years. My son obviously was on my team, and all the kids that I played for knew that I was a Palace fan, because I would tell them, because they became like, when I coached in the 2000s, it was Chelsea, Man City started to get good, Arsenal, Man United, they were fans, but only Xavier on that team was a Palace fan. So Xavier and I got a bunch of texts on Saturday night from them saying, "Coach, congratulations for Palace, blah, blah, blah." So it was so funny, because again, people just didn't know about Palace in America in the 80s and in the 2000s, because back in 2000s, we might got appointed one of those years, but for the most part, we were the what was it called back then? What was it called? It was called. Wasn't it called Championship? Was it Division 1 team? Division 1 exactly team back then. So
Ensley League Division 1.
Yeah, exactly. Some weird sponsor. Exactly.
It was a nationwide Division 1.
Nationwide, yeah. So it's just so funny that
Ensley, then nationwide, and then it became Empower Championship.
Empower, yeah.
Yeah, because I had so many messages, because I've always been told like I'm like a reference for a Palace fan, like that when they'd see Palace come up on Gillette Soccer Saturday, they'll be like, "Oh, that reminds me of Louis." Do you know what I mean? So I had the amount of all my clients that messaged me, like just it was mad. It was It's hard to watch back it's hard to watch back any clip without a tear rolling down your eye.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that next.
I was about to say, there was some of those fan videos when the whistle goes and you're seeing like 60 to 8-year-old men just with their eyes just watering, bloodshot eyes, and they just can't believe what's happened.
Yeah, so for me, I was fine when we scored the goal. I was fine when Henderson made the save. I was fine when we scored the second goal and we're up 2-0, then we weren't. I was fine every point. But at 109 minutes and 50 seconds when Henderson kicks that
Doku,
ball out, huh?
when
No, yeah,
I was
well,
more
no,
when
after
Doku
the Doku shot
Doku
didn't really
took the
bother me.
shot
It didn't
and then it
didn't really
rolled
bother
out,
me.
and
No,
it was
no.
like,
It was when because I was whatever, but when I knew that I looked up the clock, I knew that he could waste enough time for that kick to be the last kick of the match.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
done. And what I did
Yeah.
was I had my camera out because I was vlogging it, obviously. So you can see on the vlog, I had the vlog. And I turned the camera on my face, and I just lost it. So I had D next to me. He was he started hugging me, and a woman in front of me. I don't even know who she was. Said, "Oh, you're great," and hug. It was just weird, but I was absolutely lost it. But it didn't bother me because we won. I had the same bloody feeling when we lost 2016. So it's got so much better. But nah, man, it was amazing. But again, like Louis said, I've watched every video back. I've watched the GoPro with Mateta, the speeches, and every time I get to a certain point, I think, oh my god, I just start crying because I remember how I felt. But only that one time did I cry during. That's not true. I tried when I found my son after the match because we didn't sit together. When we saw it embraced after we started, I cried. But nah, man, it's an emotional thing, man. And again, I feel such a calmness now that we've won it. But I still don't think it's real. I still have a surreal feeling in my head that maybe it was a dream. Every day that goes by, I'm like, nah, it actually happened. So go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I'm still having to remind myself every day that we're going to play 8 extra games at minimum because we're going to be in Europe. I don't think I've even internalized that yet.
I did today for the first time, Tim. Louis and I and Dee were talking today, and I said, "Oh, when does Europa League even start?" Because I hadn't even. I told because Dee started talking about Europa League walking from the Green Man at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, bro, we just won the FA Cup. Can you relax? But now I started to say, yeah, you're right. 8 more games. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
This thing from Southwestern Eagle, by the way. So that's Ego Nwodim, who is an actor on Saturday Night Live. She was Eb's cousin, and she's done this twice now. Where
I remember this. Yeah,
she's done it. She's done it twice. She's worn his jersey twice, and she was like pointing to it, like pointing to the back, getting all excited. It is great. I do think Rebecca Lowe is a big part of this too. By the way, she's a massive Palace fan, and she's the main presenter on NBC.
Did you see her on Dan Patrick? That was so good. Oh, I love Rebecca Lowe. Love Rebecca.
Yeah, me too.
And Pat, when I kept saying about these players needing to die on the pitch, and one gets sent to hospital, and the other one looks like he can't.
But you were right. You're right. That kind of effort was needed, Lou. There's no doubt about it. 100%.
Yeah. And there's some of those moments where I've watched. I haven't had 2.5 hours to spare after leaving my trip in Greece. I didn't think there hasn't been an opportunity for me to slide away for 2.5 hours to watch the final again, because I'm being watched, but I'm being watched like a hawk a bit. But yeah, I've downloaded it for the.
What you wore the trousers?
There's logistics to wearing the trousers. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'll be hitting you up on WhatsApp for some tips. Then you
got to give a sense of power is over there, but it's not really over there. But anyway, I was watching, and some of the. I'm like, Pat said to me, when you watch it back, you're going to be like, I don't remember that. And there's a block from Kamara. There's a block from Lacroix. And I'm like, when did this stuff happen?
Yeah.
When did this happen? And these guys are literally throwing, like they're throwing bodies on the line. It was ridiculous.
Like, also, the Paddy McCarthy fight. I didn't know that was Paddy McCarthy fighting with the guy from
I only saw that.
That was because they said Walton was wasting time these times.
Right, when he had a concussion, exactly. It was mad.
Yeah.
I tell you, sorry, Tim, go ahead, mate.
No, somebody I can't remember who said it, but it was I was listening to a podcast. Oh, I know it was on the FYP podcast, and they were talking about that incident with Paddy and said, I don't know who that Man City guy is, but he hasn't done his research. Squaring up to Paddy like that.
Guy, his name is Max Salah. Thanks, Animal. Who knows?
Oh my gosh,
brilliant! Yeah, like, know who's dealing with. Yeah,
I mean that. I was laughing out loud at that. Anyway, sorry, Stan. Go ahead.
So I was saying another thing from Saturday was, so I don't think I've told anyone like my background into Palace, but I'm not from a huge footballing family. I lived 3 minutes from the stadium as a kid. My dad supported Liverpool because Jerzy Dudek was Poland's #1 goalkeeper. My dad was Polish, so he was a fan of them. I never really had a team. I sort of, just watched games and whatever. My mum hated Palace because she would like to go shopping on a Saturday, and all the fans took up the parking spaces outside her house. So that was but I sort of, developed a love for the game. I played it. And then when I was 16, my friend from school, Thomas, he said, "Oh, you should come and watch Palace with me." I said, No, I'm not going to do that. They're not very good. No, just come. And I went to a game. So it was the League Cup against Cheltenham Town, and we won 7-1. Trevor Francis was the manager. Dele Adebola played up front for us. Wayne Routledge was 17 years old. Wow. We had Julian Gray playing on the left wing with a bandaged up knee. I remember it really, really well. Sean Derry was playing for us in his first stint then as well. Wow. And ever since that day, I was hooked. And I haven't seen Thomas since I was probably 22 years old. I bumped into him maybe a couple of times, whatever, but I hadn't actually seen him since I was 22, 23 years old. Who do you think was the first person I bumped into when I walked out of Wembley on Saturday?
Probably him, I'm hoping.
It was him.
Wow.
I'm getting emotional thinking about it, man. Fuck it.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's and he goes, "It's great to see you." Probably won't see him for another 20 years.
Yeah.
Real quick, as I walked out looking for my son, I actually bumped into Chris Clark and Nick Gossett. But when I got outside, I saw Doc Brown.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I walked over to him and I said, "Doc, I don't want a picture. Just want to say thanks for the song." He said, "No worries." And I just kept walking. It was so cool. I shook his hand and I was like, that song, by the way, which I play every day, was so good, so inspirational.
Yeah.
I loved it. So I want to just tell him in person. I think, why not? I'm not going to see him probably, if ever, again. I just said, "Doc, seriously, I love the song. Thank you." Shook his hand.
Europa League final, Patrick. You're going to see him because that's what's next.
Possibly. I'm just saying now, but if I don't, I've had a chance to say thank you, because that's one thing people don't say enough in life is thank you to people. So I just want to say thank you. So
that's really great. I have to say, I don't think I really started feeling the big emotions of it because I don't have the same, long-term history as you guys do. But one of the things that has been really special, especially about this season, which has been strange, I've always wanted, maybe irrationally so, I've really wanted Chris Richards to succeed with Palace. Like, I mean, it's
me too, Tim.
It's bothered me that he hasn't as much as he has. And so this run that he's been on has made my season, because I mean, I'm a passionate football fan as an American, and there's plenty here, but it's just not the same. Like we were talking about this on Sunday, Patrick. It's just not the same.
Too many sports in America, and when it comes to football / soccer, it's just way down on the pecking orders, and it always will be.
It's getting a little bit more traction, but on the world footballing stage, I don't think it's unfair to say that Americans are always going to have a bit of an uphill climb. That's just the way it is. And that guy has really climbed the ladder, and he's been unbelievable. So just to see everything coming into the box, like when City was just out of ideas and they're just throwing things into the box, throw it at Haaland, throw it at whoever is making a run into the box, and he's just knocking everything out. That really was starting to get me, and I was really feeling it. And when I saw him at the end, and there's a I don't know if you've seen it, it's so great. It's him and Matt Turner, and they're grab each other on the shoulders, and they're yelling in each other's face. Yeah. And I think I just about that was it. I think that did me in.
But do you know what the other thing is? He's from Birmingham, Alabama.
I know.
They don't play football, soccer down there. They don't play football down there. They play American football. Yep. You have some of the best kickers in the NFL are from down there and stuff like from down south and stuff like that.
Yep.
But he's not only played for Palace, he's played for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, right.
He's played regularly. Was it Hoffenheim he was on loan at?
Yeah, he went to
Yes. And you're not a rubbish player if you play for those clubs.
Right.
You're not. Absolutely. Like, he was, just to see him do that, like where he's from is unbelievable. Like, could you imagine how good he must have been to get noticed down there?
Yeah, I mean, he's really stepped up his game. It's been one of the great, in a season of just incredible narratives. He's been one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. So I want to put Zach's coming up. Zach's right. He was the only player to play every minute of the FA Cup run, which is amazing. I mean, it really wasn't. And I mentioned it during the stream on, again, you told me it was Sunday. I thought it was Saturday. Whatever day it was that. I'm not sure we'll win the FA Cup with Trevor Chalobah at that position. It's not put down on Chalobah. I think Richards he brings different attributes to that position that Chalobah didn't bring that we needed. And one of them is that defensive presence as far as heading. And you're right. I watched like 3 or 4. I've watched, by the way, so I'm gonna be on. I watched the game every day, the entire game every day since Sunday. So I did watch it on Sunday when I was still in London. I flew back last night, got home last night, watched it this morning. I woke up like 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. Watched it again, 2.5 hours. It's worth it because again, you're something you didn't see. And he must have made 4 or 5 brilliant plays against Haaland. And he wasn't even marking Haaland one-on-one. It was more Lacroix. He was just helping out. But Chris Richards has been so good. And again, he was outstanding.
He started the attack.
Exactly. I can say, and I want to get that. My last thing, yes, if it wasn't for him, we don't score the goal because he's the one that started the goal. So now, listen.
Yeah.
Again, like Tim, because I came in as a 14-year-old. I still consider myself English. I do citizenship, but I've been American more than I've been in England. I don't like the way people talk about American football. My son is a 32-year-old, played at a very high level. Couple players he played on our national team. Played with a kid named Tim Parker. Youth level, played with Timothy Weah, George Weah's son. I know George and Timmy very well. So my son played pretty high level, and I think the caliber in this country is good. It's not European, but again, because when you're in America, you can play football, baseball, basketball, ice hockey, lacrosse. Then you can play soccer if you want. You know what I mean? There's nobody supposed ahead of it that you can play and get scholarships for. So again, when I grew up, I got a scholarship. It took me a year to earn that scholarship. I had to walk on and make my team at St. John's. I had to walk on, but now you get scholarships all over the place, which is great. But the level wasn't there when I played, but level is there. You got academies. So going back to Chris Richards was in Alabama, got seen by the best academy probably at that time in FC Dallas. Went there and then got to Bayern Munich. So it's a great story, but again, because that academy saw him is why he became so big. But again, interesting experiences. I want Chalobah back, but I love spiritual being serious. I don't know. Sometimes some of the comments you make sometimes are the sarcastic. I would not want him back. For what? What would be the point of getting Chalobah back when Richards proved it? I would get a higher caliber player than Chalobah, with all due respect, because when he went back to Chelsea, he struggled a lot of the time. So I like him, South London kid. He knows the past players. I would not want him back. I would like to get a higher caliber player, but spiritual, I do respect your opinion. So.
Yeah, I think I don't know that I'd want him back either. But I will say, reading Matt Wisdom's article, and they said that Trev went to Box Park to celebrate, and I think that's great.
Love that. I love that
too.
He deserves part of that beginning of the trip. So sorry.
Was he there?
He actually won the league. He picked up the league title with Celtic, but he got an FA Cup winners medal. Club sent him one.
Did he really?
Oh, really? Oh, that's brilliant.
That is fantastic. What I love that Chatty Riyadh got to walk the Wembley steps. Check the Corey walked the Wembley steps. I thought that was so important that guys who were out injured. That I'm telling you, the things that Glasgow does to keep this group together. And that is a brilliant. I mean, I honestly teared up when I saw Corey and Riyadh getting their medals because they deserved it. And I didn't, by the way, watching back, I didn't even know Wharton hadn't gotten his medal. So I saw that picture of him in the
I didn't
the
either.
hospital.
Yeah.
So,
I was devastated. I mean, that kid didn't get walk the steps. Well, by the way, he'll get bigger medals than the FA Cup in his life, so that's okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
his concussion was bad though. Apparently, like the doc was asking him, "Do you know the score?" He's like, "I don't even know where I am."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, but
It's
he
not
like
great.
proper took one on the head. It's only
Yeah, he
pain,
did.
to be fair, but they were warriors, man. They were warriors on Saturday. It was just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
It's
all was
incredible.
always at the stream. Thanks for all for coming on. I watched your YouTube video. I loved it. By
That
the
was
way. But
great.
he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. As long as Matthew gets his medal, I'm happy too. I'm with you all. I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only one Remy Matthews.
As long as he don't play.
Yes. As long as he makes up the English numbers, and so we can get international players, great. He does it. Just briefly on this, and I actually have to get back to work, but I think there was a comment, I don't remember who said it, but just like don't sell, stick together. I think we can talk about this another time, but I'm just going to tease this. I think Palace are in a really underrated position going into the summer.
We gotta talk about that, Tim. We're gonna have a long stream on that. I'm gonna ask you about it. Yeah, we don't do it today, but yeah, we have to have, because you're the person who talked about that. But I agree with you.
We're in a really good.
Yeah.
Let's do that another time. But I think
100%.
I think we're in a really good position for that. So yeah, I think we can dream about that, of keeping this team mostly together. I think we can.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap up actually, but I want to address two things. One, Louis did not leave. His iPad battery died. So I told him don't worry about it. Yeah, so he wasn't being rude. He just need to. And real quick, we had one question. Can you cover the Mateta video? Surely best video. Listen, if you don't get a chance, and I recommend a Fire TV YouTube, watch Mateta's GoPro, because you can change the angle. And I was doing it all the time. You can change the angle of what you're seeing. You'll see things you've never seen before. It is the best YouTube video for the after we won the cup I've ever seen. It is awesome. Brilliant. So Stand Deliver, thanks for bringing that up. It is fantastic. I highly recommend. But again, I have Fire TV. You can like move the button to move the angles to watch different things. But it's I mean, the best person in the world to give it to was JP, because he was going to be everywhere and everywhere. Yeah, he was so good. He was going to do that. So anyway, 4-2 win for Palace. I'll start with you, Tim. I know you got one. Any final thoughts on today's game? The 4-2.
The biggest points total in our Premier League history. Important. 50, we're on 52 now. So can't catch Brighton. Who cares? Doesn't matter. In fact, I mean, it's so funny. They won and they probably screwed themselves, because now they're in 8th and they might land in the position where we kill them off.
That is going to hurt them. I want them to be 8th and no Europe. That is going to destroy them. So yeah,
they're already so salty, guys. They're so salty. I've seen some posts on Twitter. They are,
and they should be. Stan, any thoughts on today's match, the 4-2 win over Wolves?
I thought it was great to see Essa get some minutes. There's some real potential there, man. He's good defensively as well. He gets stuck into a tackle. It's a bit rusty, but he hasn't played that much. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really blame him there. I was happy to see Eddie get 2 goals. Devaney, when he came on, I think he looks a really good squad player for us. He's done a really good job. And look, Chilwell got a goal. Happy to see that. Hopefully we don't buy him and pay him 300 grand a week or whatever he's on. He wants to come for less. Absolutely. The door's open. And, big up to Joel Ward, because he started it. And he's, I wouldn't say ended the era, but he's definitely leaving in the best way he possibly could. And we all love him. We'll all miss him, because he does a lot even outside of, obviously, on the pitch. He's the one that welcomes all the new players, has the pre-season barbecue for all the squad at his house and stuff like that. So we will, the club will really, really miss him. It's going to be very difficult to replace him. And just so you know, Elise was at the game tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it. But a couple of days, and we've got one more game to do it. Maybe it will sink in after that, eh?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I am my Palace supporting life is complete. Whatever comes after this is a major bonus. Love the ownership, I'll say it. Love the players, I'll say it. And I love the manager. So I could not be happier. Thank you everyone who jumped on today. I know we talked a little bit less about the game and more about stuff in general. If you hit the like button on the way out, we'd appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Great 4-2 win. Looking forward to the match on Sunday versus Liverpool. There will be a preview for Liverpool. There will also be a match reaction, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll get play ratings, but do not count on that because the season's over.
Yeah.
So anyway, from Louis, who's gone, from Tim and Stan, it's me, Patrick. Up the Palace.
Up the Palace.
Nice.